Hi, good evening everybody. Hope you're all doing well. So welcome to Tuesday's training. It's going to be quite a short one this evening, and just going to very quickly, whilst we're here, jump on and just do a couple of invites. So and let people know that we're here, so you can come along and join us, and then hopefully see where we are. So just give me a couple of seconds just to kind of send a few little invites here, and then we can get started. So it'll be a bit of a short one today, so not massively, and then we'll get started. There we go. Right. Let's just close that over. There we go. Right. So that's a few invites done and sent. So hopefully we'll have a few people joining us. So if you are joining us live, then please make sure that you let me know you're here. Stick a comment in, send a little like or whatever, and let me know that you're with me. And if you're catching up on the replay, please also remember that you can drop along a comment as well, and I will look them back and kind of answer any questions that you have as well. So just because you're following along the replay doesn't mean that you can't comment and stuff. So just trying to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see me properly. Right, so today's training is about visibility. And I've broken this down into two kind of subjects really. One is visibility if you are running your own business, and one in visibility if you are looking for promotions and looking for kind of a different job within the same company, that kind of stuff, or even if you're just looking for a job in total. So because the group is now focusing on businesses and careers on both self-employed and employed, I thought I would split the training to cover the two. So if we start with being employed first of all, and cover that kind of stuff, then that's we can then move on to the if you're self-employed, if that's okay with everybody. So visibility is quite simply, it's about showing up, it's about being you, it's about making sure people see you and know you. And it's probably one of the things that we forget to do the most. So one of the things that we find in business is that, you know, people are frightened to put themselves out there. They're scared to kind of show themselves and kind of open themselves up, and that kind of vulnerability and that confidence. And you know, it's very easy when you're kind of hiding behind people. So where we look at visibility from a career point of view, what we want you to look at is about making sure that you are seen in the right place at the right time for the right reasons. So when you are looking at things like applying for a promotion, or you're looking to progress within the company you're in, or if you are looking to get a job in a different company, you want them to know who you are, you want them to know what you're about. And this can kind of be where reputation comes into play. But quite often when we first start at the company, we don't always have a dream of becoming a manager or a dream of becoming a project development advisor or whatever the job title might be. You kind of start off sometimes straight out of university. Hi David, thanks for joining me. And you don't actually always kind of have this immediate desire to work your way up the ladder. Usually once you've been in a company for a few years and you start to like the people, like the company, that's when that desire to progress comes in. And quite often it can be a little bit late then from a reputational point of view, because you've already had a kind of a little bit of a bad name, or you've been already labelled as the joker or something like that. So where we talk about visibility is about how you change the way that you're perceived at work. So we want you to start to find yourself in a different position where people start to see you from a different viewpoint. So some of the things that you can do for that is you can join the social clubs, and be very careful. This isn't about going out drinking, getting absolutely hammered and stuff like that, because that doesn't give you the right visibility. What we're looking at is visibility amongst your your peer group and amongst your managers, so that when you are looking to apply for a promotion or a different position, they know you for the right reasons. They remember you at the team barbecue. They remember you as, you know, the guy or the girl that, you know, helped arrange the bingo or whatever it might be. So join the social clubs, join up with the CSR groups, all that kind of stuff, because that really raises your profile in a really positive way. Yeah, okay, or maybe just get drunk, David, if that suits you. But it's about kind of making sure that you're seen as being a leader, you're seen as being a strong person. They can see your organisational skills, because when you go for an interview, they're going to be asking you to give examples of when you've done certain things. And if you've joined and you have been part of a dragon boat race or part of a team building exercise, and you did things well and you were a positive influence, people will remember and know you for that. They will be aware of you for those reasons. So over a period of time, that drunken night that you had where you were breakdancing on the dance floor or whatever can be easily forgotten, because of these new skills that you're showing, these new leadership skills that you're showing, these, you know, being a good team player. And that leads me into the next section, really, is being a team player. So when you're actually at work and you're working on your section or on your floor or whatever it is that you're, you know, the environment that you're working in, by making sure that you kind of you are showing yourself as being a team player. So silly little things like if the manager's asking for someone to volunteer to swap a shift or to help out with something. David, Dragon Boat Race is something that we do here in Milton Keynes. I'm sure they do it in other places as well, where the local lake put on a big event, and you have, basically it's like a rowing boat, and you have somebody at the back banging drums, and you have like a team of about, I think it's about 8 to 10 people in it, and you have to kind of row from one side to the other, and it's the fastest one wins. So it's based on the Chinese dragon boats. So it's a lot of fun. I didn't do it. I say it's a lot of fun. I never did it. It's a little bit too much hard work for me. I was quite happy helping with the barbecue, but yeah, that's what a dragon boat race is. So what you then can do when you're showing your team leading skills is that you are kind of putting yourself out. You're doing something different to the rest of the team. So you're standing out as a team player. So when your manager is asking for somebody that can quickly do them a favour and take on an extra task, or could somebody swap a lunch break because someone's had to go home sick and things like that, then it's basically they know they can rely on you. You start to stand out amongst the others. Yeah, David, that's exactly it, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. So that's another way that you can start to make yourself visible. Other ways are being early in on the odd occasion, and I never suggest you're early in and late out every day, because that, from a work-life balance point of view, that causes all sorts of problems. But, you know, on the odd occasion, when it counts, you know, if you've had a team meeting and, you know, you've been talking about the fact that, you know, the workload's really heavy and you've got a big order coming in, or there's a delay with something, and you're not the first out the door, you know, you might stay a little bit late that night and help make sure that an order's fulfilled. If you work in a manufacturing factory or something like that, and it's barbecue season, and you know that, you know, it's going to be really busy, and so you offer to do an extra shift, or you stay a little bit later. Those are the kind of things. Always make sure that you are not putting yourself in a position where you're making yourself stressed or poorly because you're taking on too much. But, you know, working through the odd lunch break, staying a little bit later, coming in a little bit earlier, you know, the idiots that call you a suck up, you know, it's exactly what they are, they're idiots. But if you're looking to progress at work and you're looking to get promoted and be seen as being somebody who is reliable, who can be counted on, who's a team player, they're the kind of things you want to be doing. When I was a manager and I had people on my team, you know, and I would come back from a meeting late and I would be saying, right, you know, I've got to get this done. Those people that would be saying, okay, what can I do to help? You know, I'll go to my lunch 10 minutes late and help you get that finished if you've got a deadline for it, that kind of thing. They're the people that stand out. And then if somebody says to you, oh, so-and-so's applied for a job on my team, what's your opinion of them? Because they've helped you out, because they've stepped up, your opinion is going to be, oh, you know, they're a good worker, you know, they've helped me out a few times, they're always willing to sacrifice and help out, that kind of thing. So that's where it's really good. And, you know, quite often it's the little things you don't realise that will make all the difference, and they're the things that are going to help you out. So that's kind of in a nutshell, really, the sort of visibility in the workplace. And that's the kind of thing I think that probably most people, you kind of know it, but, you know, we do forget. And when you're looking to get a promotion or you're looking to progress within work, you know, you want to be looking ahead. You know, you want to be giving yourself a good 6 months of kind of groundwork, foundation work, before you get to that point where you're then applying for the jobs. Because, you know, that's where you can look back on yourself and say, well, actually, for the last 6 months, I've joined the, you know, the social clubs, I've arranged the team bingo, I did this, I did that. And, you know, you can give lots of examples of when you've stepped up and helped out and that kind of stuff. So that's really, really important. So when we talk about visibility and you're self-employed, sorry Dave, I'll just look at your question. That's what I need to do with my business when I'm up at 6 a.m. Yeah, you know, 6 a.m. That's, you know, you've got to be careful that, you know, when you're running your own business, it's supposed to be so you can start to spend more time with loved ones, not less time. And yes, definitely when you first start out, you know, things do take longer, and you know, you do have hours that you have to put in extra to get where you need to be. But it shouldn't become the normality. It shouldn't become standard. It should be on the odd occasion. You know, you give up your 9 till 5 not to work 6 till 10. You know, that's silly. You know, you need to make sure you've got that balance. You need to make sure that you are kind of focused on the hours that you're doing, and make sure that you know what hours you're putting in, and if there's a return on investment on it. You know, if you're going in at 6 o'clock in the morning and then you sit there for 2 hours because nobody's going to be calling you to 8 o'clock, then you're wasting your time going in so early. So when we talk about visibility in the in a self-employment environment, that again, that's broken down into your bricks and mortar and your online basis. So from an online point of view, things like Facebook groups, Facebook Lives, showing up in other groups, building relationships. So, you know, one of the things that I say in this group a lot is I want people, when they share their business on a Monday, I want you to engage with people. I want you to build relationships, because that's about being visible, that's showing up. If I put a comment up saying, you know, I want you to focus on this kind of stuff today, and somebody posts and you comment on theirs, and then they comment, and you have a conversation, and then you build a relationship, and then when you post, that person will see, and then they'll comment, and before you know it, over a period of time, you can make some really good friends in these kind of groups. You know, I'm in a few groups. I've narrowed it down to about 4 or 5 I'm in now, and I've got some really good friends in some of these groups. You know, people that are, you know, on the other side of the world. There's a lovely lady in this group, Maria, that I met through another group, and she lives in Australia, you know, and she's a lovely lady, and she's become a good friend. So, you know, and there's a few other people in here that, you know, live a few 100 miles away that I've become friends with through other groups and stuff. So, you know, it is about building relationships. But if I wasn't visible, if I lurked and didn't show up and didn't comment and didn't support, then those kind of things would never have happened. So, you know, being visible is about, you know, giving support, showing up regularly. You know, and my favourite saying, and you've seen it in the group probably, unless you're very, very new, is, you know, be a pigeon, don't be a seagull. You know, a seagull will fly in, shit all over the place and fly off. You know, that's not what you want to be doing. You know, you want to stay engaged, make friends, be a pigeon, hang about. And that's really, really important from a visibility point of view, is that you are seen. You are seen in other groups. People start to go, oh, actually, I recognise that name. That name's in this group and this group, and they're always really supportive. You know, it's really lovely when somebody sort of says, oh, I recognise you from another group, and, you know, you're always giving nice advice, and you're always being helpful and supportive and kind and thoughtful and stuff. So visibility on the online world is hugely important, because, you know, you are on your own generally as a rule. You are a solo entrepreneur. You are working from home most of the time, or from a little coffee shop. So, you know, you don't get out as much, and you're not as open to being visible. So, you know, you're your own marketer. So you need to get yourself out there, show up, do your Facebook Lives, get in there and comment on things and give advice and give support, that kind of stuff. When it comes to your kind of brick and mortar kind of business, so when you are in an environment where you're working from a specific building, then it's so much more easier for you to be visible. You know, you can really show yourself out there because you get to know the neighbours, make sure that you are talking to other people in the groups around you or in the businesses around you. Make sure that you are, you know, it's your birthday, you take cakes in for the people in the office next door. You know, it sounds daft, but it's these little tiny things that you do that will show who you are, and people will then remember you. You know, there's nothing better than, you know, from a business point of view, being recommended to other people. And you get recommended because people like you. It's the, you know, like and sell. So people get to know you, they like you, you can sell to them because they will buy from you. And it's exactly the same with brick and mortar. You know, people in the surrounding area. My osteopath, he's got a little kind of office above a little cafe, and when you go into the cafe, it's they love him and they talk about him. But then anybody else that goes into the cafe might be going, oh God, I've got a bit of a bad back. They're like that. Oh, have you seen Mr. Leach upstairs? So, because he goes in and he has his breakfast there every morning, and, you know, he talks to them and he has his coffee with them and all that kind of stuff, they've got to know him, they've got to like him, and so they're helping him sell. And if you're a brick and mortar business, that is where you can really become visible. Leaflets and advertising and pictures and all that kind of stuff. Yes, you can do all of that. You can put leaflets in the local newspaper. You can put little pictures up in the local shop, and that will make you visible to a certain extent. People will kind of look and they'll recognise the leaflet. But you want people to get to know you. You want to be visible. And for people to get to know you, you have to show up. You have to be there. So the best way to do that is to get off your backside, get out there, meet people, talk to people. So if you have an office building, or you work for an office, or from a little printing studio, or whatever it might be, make sure you know the office above you, the one below you, the one next door to you, the one down the road. Get to know the little bakery round the corner. Get to know the little cafe down the road. Oh, your birthday in a couple of weeks? Well, there you go. Some perfect timing, you know. Get to know your neighbours. Go round with get some Krispy Kreme donuts or something. Tesco's do their own version of the Krispy Kreme donuts, and you get something like, I think it's a tray of 12 for about £3 or £4. You know, just go round with a donut and introduce yourself. I'm David, and, you know, I'm working I'm in the office down the bottom. Because where you supply computer services, if they are then chatting away to a friend of theirs and they say, oh, I've got this new computer, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm thinking of getting that Witch Guide or whatever, they might go, well, hang on a minute, no, there's a guy in our office where, you know, he came around the other day with a donut, he's a really lovely guy, you know, he does that kind of stuff, I'll recommend you. You start to be remembered by people. So visibility is a huge part of career development, personal development, and business development. It is one of the biggest things you need to be able to move forward in your business and to move forward in your career. Because if people can't see you and they don't know who you are, they're never going to remember you. They're never going to employ you or buy from you. You know, the people will buy from people they like. People like people they know. And the only way they're going to get to know you is if you show up. They're not going to come knocking on your door looking for you. You've got to go out there. You've got to go looking for them. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. So today's training has been all about visibility, and definitely doing it on live this time. So, you know, I've got to practice what I preach. But you'll see in my group, you know, every single post that someone posts in my group, I will comment, I will give support, I will give advice, I show up. I'm visible as being the group leader, and that's what's important. So that's what you've got to do. Got to get yourself out there, make sure you're visible, make sure you're showing up, make sure you're giving support, buy a few donuts maybe now and again. But I hope that's been useful. Anyway, if you have any questions, if there's anything that I've mentioned that you'd like to have a little bit more detail about, or you'd like to have a chat with me, don't forget you can book your discovery call with me, which is a 30-minute free chat. There's no sales pitch. It is just literally a free service of 30 minutes of a little bit of free coaching with me about anything that you want to talk about. So make sure you use that if you haven't already. Otherwise, give me a shout, drop some comments here as always if you have any questions about the training tonight, and I will make sure I answer them. If it's not tonight, it will definitely be tomorrow. But thanks for joining me, those of you that have popped up. Thanks for the comments, David. It's been great interacting and engaging with you, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.